Hey, good morning, everyone. And oh, Udana Power, I'm so glad I met you. And oh, so much of success, happiness, everything is our relationships when you think about all of that sort of thing. And I think one of my favorite ideas is that you could actually do something that could affect other people and maybe something wonderful that maybe would not have happened, but by you doing that, maybe only you, who knows? But it's the most wonderful idea. And another thing I love, Jim Rohn said this, that you are the average of the five people you associate with most. And he also said that when you change, everything will change for you. And we're going to talk a lot about stuff, but I would say just really powerful ideas that can change your course and forever more. You could be way, way better. And you can hang around really good people. Along that, Zig Ziglar said something really funny. He says, the easiest way to get the flu is hang around somebody that's got the flu. And with that Jim Rohn idea, the greatest way to become more successful is hang around successful people. And it's wonderful to have a track that you can run on, other people there to support you. And here we are at the beginning of something so powerful. And yet, most of the things that we've been around a long, long time, the people that are leading and guiding us, it's not our first rodeo. And in fact, you, Donna, this is not your first rodeo. You've done all
No.
this stuff, but you can tell it better than me. So I'm just going to turn it over to you and just and everyone else. So
Hey, I failed my way forward. And I encourage everyone, failure, get that 5-year-old inside of you making mistakes so you can learn something new. No,
yeah.
but I did. I failed forward, but I didn't stop. And I ended up with a wonderful company that I was with for many years. And literally went from 46 cents in the bank to becoming one of the first millionaires in the company. So I'm passionate about this industry. And it all, for me, I'm passionate because it's more than what you earn, it's who you become as you're learning and actually you learn by doing. So anyway, this is an amazing opportunity and I'm just really grateful to be here. Not my first rodeo, but this is the last one. Yeah. No, I've got other rodeos. But this is the good one. Yeah.
I'll just say failure and learning. Someone said flirting, and that's a good word, but I'll just turn it over to you. And I understand you got a present, so let's go for it.
Someone said flirting, like failing forward. Is that a word? Flirting?
Flirting.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to use it, guys. All right. Let me get to screen share here because I want to respect your time and get it onto presentation. First of all, I want to say thank you all for being here. And it's just a joy to be with you. As we come together, we create what's called a morphogenetic field. It's a field of energy, like a school of fish moving together, and like a mass of starlings, those little birds that fly in patterns in the sky. That's what we create for one another so we can move forward together. So I just want to say thank you. It means a lot to all of us that we're all here together. So I want to talk about an amazing thing that I discovered. This was last September, and it was actually thanks to a couple of people, and Dave Johnson made this available. I'm blown away with what's been going on. And I call it vibrant living because we can get our bodies and our cells vibrating at a much higher frequency. And by capturing and containing and removing heavy metals from our body. Now, I didn't know anything about this. It didn't even occur to me. I've been in the health industry for a long time, and I'll tell you a little bit about this. But what I do know is you can't solve a problem if you don't know you have one. And if you don't, and if you know there's something wrong, but you don't know what it is, you're still whiffy-woffy. So that's why I put this together. And I would love to put a little framework under it because these are things that I discovered personally and why I'm here and why I'm so passionate about this. There's 3 things that touch every single part of our life. One is our health, another is money, and the other is love. I call it the juicy living triangle. And they all revolve around each other. It's not just one thing or the other. It can be a juggling act. Sometimes we're working on our health, and sometimes we're going, relationships, and then sometimes we're working on our money. but they all work together and they're all touching every part of our lives. The important thing is that we can be in charge of and be proactive about our personal health. When we're doing money, it always involves other people. And when we're doing love, it always involves other people. But we can take control of our lives. And as Warren Buffett says, you can't have success if you don't have good health. Good health is a valuable savings account. I'm proactive about it and I'll tell you why, because I really actually learned the hard way. My passion is as an actress. I love acting. It's not just being an actress. It's about channeling. It's about discovering and playing with all these emotions of who we are as human beings down here on the planet. What are we doing? So my big break started. Alan J. Lerner discovered me here in a little show in Los Angeles. And Alan J. Lerner wrote My Fair Lady and Brigadoon and Gigi and On a Clear Day You Can See It Forever, a lot of things like that. He flew me to New York to star opposite Katharine Hepburn in a show he was working on called Coco, about Coco Chanel. Whoa, was that an experience? After that was done, because I live in Los Angeles, I came back to Los Angeles and I was doing a lot of sitcoms. So I did a lot of things you may remember. Yes, Henry Winkler is absolutely amazing. So is Bill Shatner. They're all just great human beings, really lovely. Suzanne Summers, I wish I had known what was going on before she left our planet a little while ago. I had my own series for a while by the man and woman who created Mary Hartman. That was a treat. 13 weeks of doing 5 shows a week, 5 full sitcoms a week. And I did over 200 commercials. I literally counted them at one point. And that paid for everything. Residual income. I'm a cheerleader for residual income. But I was also doing musicals. I'm a singer. And I was a dancer. I'm a better singer than I'm a dancer, but I'm a good singer. And I did all these shows all over at major theaters all over. And I was starring at a show at the Mark Taper Forum down here in Los Angeles called A History of the American Film. And it was turn-away crowds. Everybody was talking about it. It was on centerfolds of major newspapers, on Sunday folds. It was big deal. And I was getting offers from everywhere. And I couldn't take any of them because I could hardly stay awake. My health failed. I didn't know what it was. Nobody knew what it was. All I knew is I had to go home and go to sleep and start going from doctor to doctor. And doctors couldn't help me. I was coming back home from one with about $700 worth of blood tests. He says, "You're fine. You're just under stress." But what happened is it turned out to be, and I found it literally by a leap of faith and prayer, that I had a thing in my body called candidiasis or Candida albicans, and I'd had it since I was an infant. The doctor brought me home my mom brought me home with oral thrush. Doctor said, put her in the sun, it'll go away. Boom, it did. But I had all the symptoms of this all my life, and it really came out in my early 30s. So in order for me to get well, it took me about couple of years to find out what it was, and then start exploring, well, now how do I get rid of it? Now what do I do? And then start experimenting with all of those things to start saying, well, what works and what doesn't, and then to finally get well. 10 full years. And what I discovered, well, rudely awakened, I had gone through all my money by that time. See, if you lose your health, you're going to spend all your money trying to get your health back. Ooh. And there's the other thing I learned when I've been making a lot of money and being really healthy, if I don't have love in my life, it's like, what am I doing here? Okay, God, tell me. This all works together. But the key is, what I didn't know literally almost killed me. Literally. And only my body, once I got all the junk cleaned out of my body, knew exactly what to do to heal itself. And that started me on an incredible journey to take care and be totally responsible for my own health. And frankly, I want to tell you, I didn't want to do that. I wanted a doctor to give me a pill. Come on, give me a pill and get me better so I can get on with my life and what I want to do. It was the best thing I ever learned. It was the best thing I ever learned to to be responsible for my personal body health. I've done every cleanse, I've done every fast, Dr. Ann Wigmore became a friend. She'd stay at my house when she came to Los Angeles. I was snorting wheatgrass juice up my nose, putting it in my eyes, putting it up my butt. I was determined to stay on the planet, to stay alive. So, and I've also coached hundreds of people through cleansing protocols because I just feel it's important. It seems to be a calling for me. What I didn't understand with all of that until just recently is that we're all loaded down with a toxic burden of heavy metals. Can you believe we used to put mercury in fillings in our teeth? It's like, whoa. But there's mercury, arsenic, cadmium, lead, chromium. There's over 70,000 toxic chemicals, but there's all kinds of heavy metals. They're tested for maybe one thing, but not everything, and synergistically together. People just don't know. I used to lecture about this a while back about toxicity and how to cleanse our bodies. But the key is with these heavy metals, how did they get here? Then why should we care? This led me on an adventure to discover some things back in the 90s. And this is actually shocking. A new practice. The industries were trying to figure out how to get rid of their toxic waste. It was expensive to put it in landfills and they couldn't put it in the ocean, blah, 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 blah. They thought, whoa, we've got some things that work for fertilizer in there. Let's just put it in the silo in the top as toxic waste, literally, and then out of the bottom, we'll sell it as fertilizer. We'll sell it to the fertilizer companies, which they did. And there have been no regulations about it. Basically, we have now, since the 90s, put toxic, heavy metals and toxic waste all throughout all of our groundwater, all of our topsoil, all of our land. That's what's in it. All of our farmlands, coast to coast. Moms Across America, there's an article, and you can go out and Google these articles online, and I invite you to, because it's important. Moms Across America, there's an article out here, it's one of the first ones I've read. They tested fast food, literally 100% of it had heavy metals. Even those really nice In-N-Out Burger is a really famous place out here on the West Coast, and they had their potatoes in the windows, and they're cutting them through these big potato cutters. And I thought, those got to be healthy. You know what? Those are loaded with toxic heavy metals because the potatoes absorb them from the ground, when underneath the ground. Who knew? How many of you have a deck, a beautiful deck that you like to hang out on, walk around barefoot, the kids go around and the dogs and cats are like snoozing on and padding around and bouncing their chew toys all over? These are all treated with arsenic. Now, a teeny bit of arsenic and stuff, the body can handle kind of stuff. What it does when toxic chemicals come into our body, it'll store it in fat cells and bone tissue, anything inert tissue. It does not it wants to keep it out of the soft organ tissue because that gets dangerous. So a little teeny bit is a little teeny bit of fat or a little teeny bit, but then over time it starts building up. And the body gets overloaded with this stuff, and that's when it gets dangerous. And just so you know, here's some things. Arsenic exposure, it affects every organ. According to the National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health, okay? They said it causes all kinds of cancers, bladder, kidney, skin, liver, whatever. This is not me talking. This is the NIH. You add to this that there's things called forever chemicals. Now, forever chemicals are these chemicals like in non-stick cookware. We all have Teflon in our bodies, swimming around somewhere. These don't break down. It takes 50 to 100 years for these chemicals just to break down. The linings in hot food, when you get something from hot food or you have some microwave popcorn, there's a little slippery thing on the inside of the package, of the box or the unit that you're doing it in. That's forever chemicals on those. It's also in stain-free carpets, flame retardants, AstroTurf. Kids are playing on AstroTurf now instead of grass. Just literally last month, April 2024, the EPA set limits of PFAs in water. It's about time, right? And then on the same month, on a Wednesday, a second, because I used the quote here, a second jury in 8 months decided that the ingredients in Roundup cause cancer. And I know that there were people who were drinking Roundup. This is okay. What's going to be cool? It's not cool. I was at an event about several weeks ago, and there was a gentleman on stage, and his son had been, yeah, it's fine, it's cool. His son died in his 30s from cancer. When you think of all of this, and not only what it does to those who get sick, but what it does to your loved ones, it's profound. It impacts everything. Another thing called VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and I didn't really understand these words before. They're in paints, they're in dry cleaning. You take that thing off the dry cleaning and this whiff is like, oh, that's VOCs. Permanent markers, pop, adhesives, glue, aerosol sprays. When I do my hair in the morning, that's coming out. Water repellent. How about water repellent clothing or stain repellent clothing? It's next to our skin. It's getting absorbed all the time. Cleaning supplies. It's profound. VOCs. The EPA has found that there's anywhere from 2 to 5 times higher levels of VOCs inside our homes than there are outside our homes. What are the effects of VOCs, volatile organic compounds? Headaches, loss of coordination, nausea, damage to different organs, and they can cause cancer not only in animals but also in humans. Again, think of our animals, they don't wear shoes and they have their chew toys and stuff all over. There's one other thing that I wanted to mention because we're on the subject. I have tried to live without plastic. It's almost impossible. And or that's what I found. If anyone has a solution, let me know. They're in everything. And there's 8 metric tons of plastic waste poured into the ocean every single year. And out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, there is a big spot that's twice the size of Texas. That's just a swirling mass of plastics. So microplastics can affect various systems in our bodies, digestive, respiratory, endocrine, reproductive, our immune systems. Again, PubMed, National Institute of Health. We are faced with this, and this is not going away. We live in it. We're like fish asking, what's water? We are living in all of this, so we want to be aware. There's one more thing I want to mention. Back in 2005, the Environmental Working Group did a study on infants and babies just born and the cord blood. What they found was 285 toxic chemicals in the mother and 200 toxic chemicals in the baby, many of them carcinogenic. When I was growing up in the 40s and the 50s, we never saw kids with the kind of challenges that they have now. And so what is this about? I invite you to do this. Put in any disease name you want and heavy metals after it in Google and see what comes up. I think you'll be as surprised as I was. I was like, oh, this is important. This is important for people to know about. As much as we focus on health and being in good shape and buying our food from whole paycheck, organic, and doing all of these things, I'll bet there's probably not very many people that you know that are not on some kind of a medication. And we still get sick, but humans get sick, okay? But if you're healthy and everything's working right, you can recover very quickly, okay? This is what blew me away though. When I was doing the research, I started thinking, for the last 30 years, how many billions of dollars have we spent on cancer research? A lot, billions and billions. We have created cell phones, we've got satellites, we've got all this stuff going on, everything's advanced, yeah. And our rate of cancer after spending billions and billions of dollars, it's gone up 79%. What's that about? That's weird. And National Cancer Institute in February 22, they published that 1 in 3 men will get cancer and 1 in 2 women will get cancer. I don't like that statistic. Why is that happening and what can we do about it? There was a report that $268 billion was spent that year alone on sicknesses caused by heavy metals in our bodies. It's mind-boggling. We cannot out-nutrition heavy metals. And here's why. It's like your car. You have a car and car versus human body. A car doesn't repair itself. A human body does. Woohoo! We just take it for granted. It's going to fix itself. Yeah. We know our car, if we don't replace the oil, and if we don't replace the oil filter, it's going to slow down and then grind to a stop. So we replace something every 3 months. We make sure we keep it clean and moving great. Otherwise, we know the car will die. When there's toxic sludge building up in the cells in our body, and we put nutrition in, and it tries to get into the cells and absorbed, the cells can't metabolize it correctly. There's all kinds of things that interfere with it. And I'm going to show you a solution because there is one. Otherwise, I wouldn't go through all of this. But I want to talk to you about the miracle of your body. All of us have these amazing vehicles. We are body, mind, and spirit. That's what I feel. And we're expressing ourselves through these wonderful vehicles that are self-healing. And there's over 30 trillion cells in these bodies. And they heal themselves just naturally. We cut ourselves and they heal. It's great. We replace 330 billion cells, give or take a few. And that comes down to about 8.8 million cells every second. Okay? So those cells are replicating themselves. And the good thing is, there's good news and bad news. The good news is new cells last from 2 hours to about 7 years. But every 7 years we get a new body. And the bad news is every 7 years we get a new body. And what I mean by that, if we're putting in poor nutrition, or if we're putting in really good nutrition that can't get metabolized by the cells and by the life force in our body itself, what happens is the body will go, oh, we got to rebuild this. Well, let me rebuild it with whatever I can. It'll get the equivalent of duct tape and baling wire, put it together, and then next, that's what happens. So people, they think they have to grow old. I'm probably the oldest person out here, and we don't have to grow old. We can grow better. We absolutely can. And what I love this quote, youth no longer has to be wasted on the young. A solution. Well, here we get to the good part. I discovered this product in September 2023, thanks to some dear friends, Dave being one of them. And I literally grateful because it saved my life. I live in a beautiful duplex, a lower duplex, love it, just outside Beverly Hills with gorgeous wood floors. It was built in 1927. I don't know when the wood floors were changed, but they're lovely. Right beneath my office is the furnace and in the basement. And guess what? This is what was going on. As I started using the basement, there was no ventilation. So as I would take the chill off in the morning, I was getting carbon monoxide up into my office, and you don't smell that, and I didn't know it, and it's a heavy gas, and I just took the chill off, never left it on all night, so the gas never got to the detectors, carbon monoxide detectors at the ceiling. So by November I started using the heat. By December I was tired, exhausted. By January I literally was seeing double. I had to stop driving, and it wasn't until January 18th that I called the gas company in, thanks to a friend suggesting I do that. And they said, oh, they found it. They gave me a slip, said carbon monoxide poisoning. And that's really deadly. And it took me, Cell Defender, this product was the only thing that helped me. I went twice to the ER. I had MRIs taken, your brain's fine, neurologist, all this other stuff. Insurance doctor said, okay, nothing we could do. This is the only thing that helped. Cell Defender, it's a zeolite. And we're going to explain for those who don't know what it is. And it removes It captures and contains and takes the heavy metals and VOCs out of the body. It's safe. And I was using at a crisis dose these little drops, and after a couple of weeks I was starting to feel great. I could drive again, and I gave some of mine to someone else, and I lost a bottle, slipped behind something in the kitchen. I just had a little bit left. I was waiting for my auto ship to come in, so I lowered it down to 7 drops 3 times a day. Okay, I could do that. And within 4 days I was back to where I was completely, where my eyes were seeing double, could not see, could not drive, and just couldn't finish a sentence. This is a product that's spectacular. I've seen some amazing things happen with it. And one of the things is, if you are using any product, especially a health product that has one clinical study, that's amazing. This product has over 15 clinical studies, which is astonishing. And it's called Nature's Purifier. It cleans, and this product is cleaned and activated, and it pulls all these things out of your bloodstream itself. The product has been around for 20 years. There's been over 8 million bottles sold. This company has been around for 2 years. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that and why. But this product has a history, and a lot of people having spectacular results with it. And I would love to have the formulator himself, Rick Deitch, again, he created the whole category of zeolite here for use in nutritional purposes. It's been used for hundreds of years for other purposes, but he created it for human use. And he's been developing it for over 20 years. And it's been with other companies. However, the last company, the owners and managers of the last company decided that they needed to make more money, probably needed a bigger house or a new yacht or something, but they decided to dumb down the products. So what happened is Rick took them to court, and the judge gave him back his formula and said, this goes to you. The other company that was using it at the time that dumbed it down, they said, you're using Deitch Light, good luck to you. He gets his formulas back. So this company, Avini, was put together 2 years ago, exactly. But the product has been around in development for 20 years. So what I would like to do is let Rick himself tell you a little bit about this, because he does it better than I can.
Hi, I'm Rick Deitch, the Chief Scientific Officer of Avini Health, and I'd like to talk to you about Cell Defender. See, first of all, you have to understand that all of us are toxic. We live in a toxic world. There's heavy metals, volatile organic compounds in the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink. And all of us have mechanisms in our body to excrete those toxins. The problem is, our exposure is much higher than our ability to excrete. And so toxins build up in our bodies over time. And the body tries to protect us by hiding those toxins in metabolically inert or inactive tissue, mostly fat and bone. Over time, the toxic level gets higher and higher, and it impedes health. It impedes our ability to heal. And so you need to do something to avoid toxic exposure, to mitigate the risk of toxic exposure, and to actively detoxify. And there's lots of different modalities for detoxification, but most of them equate to really just going to the bathroom. They're laxatives and diuretics that, as long as you're getting stuff out of your body, we call that detox. But that's not really detoxification. The best thing we've ever found, really, in the last century for detoxification is using natural zeolites. So what is a zeolite? A zeolite is a natural compound that's formed in volcanic eruptions. When a volcano erupts, the lava and the ash goes into salt water and it forms these crystal cage-like structures. So zeolites have a cage-like structure and a negative charge, making one of the few negatively charged minerals found in nature. Because of the cage-like structure and negative charge, zeolites can draw to themselves and trap within themselves a variety of different positively charged compounds. Now, different zeolites do different things. We use a zeolite called clinoptilolite. Clinoptilolite has been used for over 800 years in traditional medicine for improving general health. And the cool thing about clinoptilolite is, because of its structure and its pore sizes, it loves small, highly charged metals, and it doesn't like bigger metals with a lower charge. It just so happens that all the stuff in nature that's bad for us is small and highly charged. That's mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic, tin, bismuth, aluminum, antimony. And all the stuff that's good for us is bigger with a lower charge: magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, sodium, potassium. So the zeolite loves the bad stuff and doesn't like the good stuff. So when you ingest it, it sucks up all the bad stuff and goes out of your body. I realized if we were going to really use this for human detoxification, we had to do something about it. We had to fix the natural zeolite. So really created by nature and perfected by science. The two things we needed to do was make it smaller and clean it out, because zeolite in the mine site, when they mine it, are huge particles, anywhere from 5 microns to 200 microns, like a rough granular sand. You ingest that, it's not getting into the bloodstream, it's just staying in the digestive tract. So every other zeolite product out there doesn't really know how to properly standardized, micronize the zeolite. And so you have all sorts of ranges of product size. So we, through many years of research, have come up with a micronization process. We get a standard particle size of less than 1 micron. Anything smaller than 2 microns can be absorbed. Less than 1 micron, you know it's being absorbed. And the smallest particles are even smaller than 500 nanometers, half a micron. So that means when you ingest this product, it gets absorbed from the digestive tract into the bloodstream and goes all over the body, where it can remove toxins and heavy metals. The second thing is, zeolites in nature are dirty. When you get the zeolite from the mine site, it's full of toxins, heavy metals, volatile organic compounds. And that's because zeolites are nature's filter. When you have a zeolite mine site and water flows over it and air blows through it, it's sucking those things out from the environment. We measure the toxins that come off it through our activation process, and some of them we couldn't identify. So we sent it out to a third-party lab, and it came back as diesel fuel exhaust. Just think about that. That means the actual mining equipment that's mining the zeolite is creating toxins the zeolite is pulling in. And so if you have a company that's selling a zeolite product that is not doing our activation process, you're ingesting that. You're ingesting that diesel fuel exhaust along with the other toxins that are naturally in the zeolite. So we have an activation process that's labor intensive, that drives off the heavy metals, drives off the volatile organic compounds to clean out the zeolite to make it the most active. So when you ingest it, it's got tons of space to pull in toxins from the body. The example I use there is the sponge in your kitchen sink. If the sponge is all dirty, you can't clean your counters with it, you can't clean your plates with it. But if you clean out that sponge and squeeze it out, now it can suck up all sorts of toxins, all sorts of things, and clean up your kitchen. And there's a lot of knockoff products out there, but nobody understands the technology. Nobody has made a product that even comes close to Avini Cell Defender. So what does it do? It takes out compounds, takes out toxins and volatile organic compounds from the body to make a cleaner, healthier body. In so doing, it improves the immune system. So it stabilizes immune system health. And lastly, it actually stabilizes pH. It raises our pH to alkaline levels, so we're in a healthier state. You're going to hear tons of testimonials about how this has changed people's lives. And time again, people tell me how this works and how it made them heal this or improve that. I'm telling you, it really only does one thing. It takes things out of the body that don't belong, and a cleaner, healthier body fixes itself. Everybody needs this product. When they hear about it, everybody wants this product, and this is the only place to get it. Avini Health and Avini Cell Defender.
This is the amazing thing about this is 2 years ago, once he got the formulas back, and the beauty about it, it's what they call a trade secret. He didn't even patent it because he didn't want to write them down, because patents expire and you don't want to write it down for anybody else to copy it. There's nobody else. There's a lot of people out there selling zeolite, woohoo, but it is nothing like this. It doesn't work. And for me, I wouldn't trust my health to something that I'm not sure actually works. So the men, once he was freed up with the licensees, there were men who had used these products who also had the background and the understanding. There were a lot of people who were going, wait a minute, this transformed my life. Where is it? How can we get it? So two men stepped forward, Neil Roth and Doug Dickey. Neil had already, he had graduated in nuclear physics and math. It's just amazing. That's a whole other brain set. It's amazing. But he also had over 45 years of experience in top executive positions in multi-billion-dollar companies. So he really knew how to run a business, and he loved direct sales because he stepped back to do direct sales because he wanted to know his children. So he knew both sides of this business. And Doug Dickey He's VP of sales. He had spent 20 years of experience as CEO and CFO in fertilizer companies and plant nutrition. He understood a whole other part of this. These three men came together and said, well, let's create our own company. And they called it Avini. And it launched literally 2 years ago, March 1st. So we're just a few days over 2 years old right now. And it's in Boca Raton, Florida. We have over 1,200 testimonials coming in. The last 2 years, they're coming in every day of people saying, oh my gosh, this is transformed. Look at it. I've got friends of mine that come back with clean MRIs. What? The doctors are going, what? Tell me more about this. 18,000 square foot facility in Boca Raton, where they not only get all of the ingredients they need and test them first, they put everything together, they send them out for third-party testing. Nobody will ever play with the formulas, so important. And then they just distribute it out to us here in the field. And they chose direct marketing because specifically they can control the whole thing. They don't have to have somebody else doing it. It's not going to be made somewhere else. It's all made here in the USA. And the products need to be explained like I'm explaining to you here. I used to wander around Whole Foods and the vitamin aisle and talk to some kid who was making, or some nice person who was making maybe $15 an hour if they're lucky, and asking them, but they didn't really know. I just look at shelves of things and I couldn't tell. So that's one of the passionate things that I want to share with you. So what I didn't know is every breakthrough in dietary supplements over the last 40 years has happened through the direct selling industry because they can be explained. So there are things like St. John's wort, acai juice, hyaluronic acid. Those things needed to be explained for people. Plus, in the manufacturing, when you go into a regular place and start looking for stuff, you can see things on the bottle, but companies do what they call fairy dusting. They'll take enough of an ingredient just to fairy dust it across, so that they can put it on the label, but it's not enough to actually do what that ingredient is designed to do in the product. What I would like to do is, because this is an important subject and there's a lot of us facing different things that are going on in our bodies, I'd like to take a little time to go over the whole product line that the company has right now, because it's all designed to take out of the body what does not belong in the body so that the body can fix itself. So first of all, the tip of the spear is Cell Defender. Again, it moves heavy metals from the blood and the lymph system, and it supports your healthy pH. We need to have our bodies in a healthy pH. Cancer cannot survive in a healthy pH. There's a 3-day and a 34-step process that Rick puts this through that he did not write down. Nobody else knows how he does it, but that's what makes it work. That's what activates it. It micronizes it and activates it. Cell Defender. There's also another product that takes all the squiggly living things that shouldn't be in your body, like bacteria, parasites, mold, fungi, out of your body. This is nano silver. Colloidal silver is something you can work on the outside of your body. You can't put it on the inside because it's not the right shape. There's things that happen to it. This nano silver is the 7 to 9 millimeters of spherical little things. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but all I know, it is stabilized. So when it gets into our bloodstream, it's not going to create any problems in the gut, kill anything it shouldn't. It's just going to take what shouldn't be and get it out through our bloodstream. Get it out through the urine as quickly as possible. Plus Relief is a pain relief. This stuff is amazing. It's a homeopathic. Again, there's 47 clinical studies on this product. It's non-addictive, anti-inflammatory. You can't overdose. Rick decided what he wanted to do was help veterans get off of opioids. And this is what's been doing it. You can use it internally to get the inflammation down and start getting the pain relief from the inside out, and you can put it on topically to get it from the outside in. Immunity mushrooms. I'm 2 and 2. I take 2 and 2 every day. It normalizes your blood sugar, gets your cholesterol down, gets your immunity up, reduces heart disease, enhances sexual performance. Ooh, yeah. Plus fiber. This helps get the cholesterol down. Again, stabilizes healthy blood sugar. This is what I'm using it for. Doctor wanted to put me on statins. That was a disaster. This is what I'm using. Boom. Multiple kinds of fiber. There is no kind of fiber like this out there. This does multiple things. This plus hydration, I have this every day. He created for athletes. Most of the hydration products just stay in the digestive tract. This one is designed with the science called low osmolality, that it gets it right out into the bloodstream and into the cells where it can actually start moving things out of the cells, get the electrolytes into the cells. It's just amazing. Trim science, it burns fat, it blocks carbs, it prevents new fat, it improves focus. This is great for weight loss. Plus energy. Dave was talking about it a little earlier. I had gone to Dallas to research this to see, do these people, is this really a real company? Am I going to meet people who really have testimonials about this, not just the Botox parade? And I saw people, they were all had amazing results, amazing testimonials about what happened. But I was tired. I had been working hard. I had been traveling. It's got to the end of the afternoon. I like trying to stay awake. And a Rich Cotter handed me one of these. Oh, this is nice. I just slugged it down. And within a few minutes, I felt like my whole body was awake. It was just like, it was like springtime, just whoa. And there was no buzz, nothing buzzy about it. I was just completely awake. Spectacular. It's amazing. Plus cardio care. I'm doing this. I'm using this. I'm doubling up on this. It supports the entire cardiovascular system, improves the structure and the function of your blood vessels. I'm using this for my own reasons. But there's one ingredient in here that's not in any other heart supplements. And when he was researching it, Rick went to a big heart place that they were having different booths around, people talking about things. Nobody was talking about this single ingredient in this product that's had 8 clinical studies, and it's been proven to reverse congestive heart failure and coronary artery disease. It's like one herb in, this is amazing. And he says, why isn't anybody using it? And the guys who ran the big show said, well, nobody got a booth. This is what he's doing. This is a genius. He's doing things that are just so obvious when you look at him. Plus mind of vision, visual acuity, the brain and the eyes are connected. I never thought of that. And they both deal with the same things. They need the same kind of nutrition in them. So, and the eyeballs, they never stop. Even when we're asleep, they're working. They need to have real nutrition. They're connected. It's all connected. We're getting phenomenal feedback and testimonials about this now. We also have it for our animals. I've been using it on my little kitty cat, Lily, since September. She has something going on with her leg, and she would refuse to eat what the pain relief gave her. I've been using this since then. She's bouncing around. She's eating again, and she's really sweet. So this is something we can use for our animals. Veterinarians need to know about this. What is your next step? We've covered a lot of material right now. And I want to say that the next step that you take is the one that's right for you. I suggest, and I've been over this material again and again, and each time I learn something new. You can start by just learning more and connect with the person who brought you to this presentation. Get more information. We'll send you reports, we'll send you videos, things that are about what you're looking for, testimonials, clinical studies, some that I can understand and some that are in medicalese that I can't understand. But doctors and people like that can. And we can also get your specific questions about what's going on in your body answered by people who know. You can also try the products as a regular customer. Just jump in, order as a retail customer, get what you want. I suggest you start with Cell Defender. We all need it, but some people are wanting pain relief, whatever you want. But there's a 30-day guarantee. Definitely want you to know, everyone, this is an investment. You want to make sure you're getting what you're asking for. There's free coaching. We provide that. We want to give you, when you get your products, we want you to call us back and let us help coach you, review your goals, and help you design the use of the products. Do you need a crisis dose? Should you do more of this? When should you do that? So that you're using them so you get the maximum help with what you get. This is about your body. This is about your health. You can become a member, like a Costco member, so we don't have a yearly cost and you don't have to be on auto ship or anything, but you can come in with a pack. I suggest using the whole suite of products because like one of these, this is what I came in with, one of these. There's, again, we want you, there's a 30-day guarantee, and we definitely want you to give us a call back. We want to help you, support you, coach you, help you use the products so you accomplish your goals as quickly as possible. And for those who are like me, that are passionate about this whole thing, you can share with others. You can get bonuses for products, for introducing people to the products. You can get a little extra income, enough to pay for your products, or you can get on the mission to help change world health, to help people understand what's going on so that they can retrieve their health. And you can make an ongoing residual income. And in this industry of direct selling, because I got passionate and I realized, wait a minute, the more people I help, the more the company pays me, and then it's residual income. I can do that. And I went to work. And it ended up to be an amazing income over many years that far outstripped doing commercials. It was like, whoa, from 0 to 1 million to several million. So it's been amazing. But the important thing is, do the products work? And we all know people who need this information. And one of the wonderful things about this is you don't have to fast. All the other things I've had to do, have to be very articulate about your food, what you do, and you have to stop eating for a while. That's a hard thing to do. They did one of the clinical studies was done with minors in West Virginia, and they said, just use it any way you want, just get it in your body and tell us how you did it. And one of the guys put it in his mashed potatoes, and another guy put it in his bourbon. My gosh. Anyway, make time your superpower. It can go one way or the other. We're in a culture and a society where we all want everything right now. Let's do it right now. But if we do a little bit every day, right? Good habits, they build on one another. That's how things grow. A tree doesn't just shoot up and then produce oranges. It grows every day and becomes this. Same with you. Get good habits. You take a shower or a bath or something on the outside every day. Start cleaning out the inside every day. It's important. It's a habit. Good health. It's the foundation of your whole life, and you want a juicy life. Be proactive. Again, that's the one thing you can be proactive about. Love and money, those are two other things. And you want all of them. But you have a big life to live. This healing that comes up from you, I call it the law of blooming. Your body heals itself. You have lots of things to do. Clean out the gunk inside, unmuffle those cells, vibrate through something like that. You can't play a guitar if the socks are being stored in the guitar. You want to have it vibrant and vibrant tones. You are the hero you're waiting for. It's not anybody else, it's you. And I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration. Learn more, go over these things again and again. And have a long and wondrous life. And know that the end is always a new beginning. Get back to the person who brought you onto this call. And you've all heard the saying, oh, this is the first day of the rest of your life. Let this be the first day of the best of your life. I'm doing this because I want 20 or 30 years now, from now on, to do the things that I lost in the middle of my life because I didn't know some things that almost killed me. Your body knows how to heal itself. I'm going to stop share and back to you, Dave.
Totally awesome. That was so wonderful. Let's go do this.